or not, but can you guys raise your hand if you're stars? I should have started with Distributor. Anybody here a Distributor? Okay, senior stars?
Never mind.
Having Echo talk about excuses was perfect because we're going to learn how to get rid of those excuses. And why we have those just excuses, she already kind of covered, so I don't have to talk about that, right? But the problem is we have the excuses and we know what we need to do to get to where we want to go, but we choose not to, or there's a blockage, right? So we're going to get rid of the blocks. Where am I pointing this to? Forward. I don't know why it's not. Okay. Forward again. Okay, this is up. Okay. So we have doubt, fear, and stress, right? Life is stressful. We have doubts about ourselves and our ability to do this business, and we stress out and all of that, right? But when we have that happen, okay, this isn't working. Forward. We get in the way of ourselves, right? But everybody know the fight or flight response in the body. We learned it like in science in elementary school, right? So the fight or flight response comes out when we are fearful, whether it's an actual thing happening, like, you know, you get in a car accident, or you're thinking about something that's scary. Your body's going to send out the same response, the same fight or flight response, which means more oxygen to your heart and your lungs so that you can stay alive, less oxygen to your brain, which means you just go into survival mode. Oh, it's forwarding without me even wanting to. So you go into survival mode and your brain isn't able to function. And so when we're living in a stressful environment, which life is stressful no matter what, especially with all the things that are happening in the world lately, we are constantly in this like low level grade of stress and fear and doubt, right? And so we're constantly living with this low level of that fight or flight. So especially when we're stressed, we're not going to be making the right kinds of judgment calls. The healthiest kind of judgment calls, the kinds of judgment calls for ourselves that Echo is talking about to make our business a priority. We're going to be going into that survival mode, which is that protective, I'm not going to do it, I don't want to do it, and have all those excuses, which is our programming that we've done for so many years, right? So it's really important for you to know the different parts of your brain. You've got a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. Okay, there's two parts of your brain. The conscious mind's the part of your brain that is the thinking and rational part. It's the planning part of your brain, but it's also that worst case scenario, catastrophe, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna make fun of me, everyone's gonna like shun me because I'm doing this stupid network marketing thing, everyone's gonna think I'm like involved in a pyramid scheme, and they're gonna just like think I'm a whack job, right? So we're constantly using that conscious mind, and it's that planning part where we're like, okay, today I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and this. But then life gets in the way, right? For women, we tend to think 5 billion steps ahead, right? Like when it's my son's birthday coming up or my daughter's birthday is coming up. Her birthday is not till November 18th, which is, you know, a month away. Like I don't really need to be planning anything yet. But I've got like 5 different birthday parties set up in my head of like things we could do and what the little gift bags are gonna have and all these different things, right? And I don't need to really think about all of that. Like if I were to ask Scott, my husband, like what should we do for Avalon's birthday? He'd probably be like, why don't we just go to the beach? Well, then you have to then there's the sand, and then what are we gonna do with the food, and and then all this and that, and what if the weather's bad? And he's like, get a tent, order some pizzas, no big whoop, right? Guys have it a little bit easier, but women were constantly thinking of all the catastrophes that can come up. And so that's our conscious mind, okay? The subconscious mind is the part of your brain that just knows what to do, right? It controls all of your bodily functions. When you eat food, you chew it and you swallow it, right? But are you telling your body, okay, start digesting, stomach, start churning, release that acid and break down the food? No, right? You just let that happen. When you fall asleep, are you telling your body okay, heart rate starts slowing down, your breathing starts slowing down, everything's going to rest? No, you just lay your head down and you start falling asleep, right? So your brain, that subconscious part of your brain, is the part that controls those bodily functions without you ever having to think about that at all. And it's also the programming within your head. It has recorded everything that's ever happened to you. But more importantly, it's recorded everything you've ever said to yourself. So all of those doubts, all of those fears, all of those I can't, I'm not good enough, all those things that Echo talked about, that we say to ourselves so many times without really even realizing it, have now become a program in the back of your brain. So your brain is kind of like a computer. And it's kind of like the screen is your conscious mind. You can see it, it's there, that's what you get, right? But then the hard drive part of the computer is your subconscious. There's all this stuff that's happening to make sure that when I click enter, something actually happens. If I want to get on the internet, something actually happens when I press enter to Safari or click on Safari. I don't know all the things that are going on. It's some kind of intricate process that obviously happens, but there's a program that was already programmed into my computer to make it so that when I click on Safari, Safari happens, right? I don't have to think about it, it just does. Same thing with our brain. If we're programming our brain with these negative messages, or we were programmed from our upbringing or whatever with negative messages, those are the programs that are going to play in the background all the time. And so we need to get rid of that and change it. So we need to understand the 3 laws of the mind. And so if you've ever gone to any of my workshops before, this is something I talk about every single time. So it might be repetitive, but you're probably going to get a little bit out of it every single time because I talk about different things every single time. But I think it's so powerful to know once you understand the 3 laws of the mind, you are going to understand how powerful you are. Because do you realize that you are the most powerful person in this room? Can you honestly raise your hand and legit own it when you said, could you say, I'm the most powerful person in this room? Probably not, right? But you are. You're the most powerful person in this room over yourself. And that's all that really matters. So the first law of the mind is that every thought creates a physical or chemical change. And research shows we think about 20 to 30,000 thoughts a day. So who's consciously aware of 20 to 30,000 thoughts in your brain every day? I don't see one hand raised, right? Even if you have the most racing kind of ADHD mind, 20 to 30,000 thoughts is not something you're going to be consciously aware of. So it's kind of like an iceberg. The conscious mind is the surface stuff that you see, but there's this humongous, massive piece of ice underneath the surface that makes up the subconscious part of the brain. So we've got all this programming that's just playing in the background, all of those negative thoughts, all those doubts, all of that junk that's just playing in the background. And that's why there's a disconnect between consciously knowing what I need to do to build my business and actually taking the steps. Because the conscious mind says, I want to do blah, 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 I want to do all these income-producing activities, but then it doesn't happen, right? Because the conscious mind's like, well, I don't know, them, or all those excuses, right? But every thought creates a physical chemical change, and it's really important to know that because of that fight or flight response. But also, the placebo effect is proof that every thought creates a physical or chemical change. So the placebo effect is something that happens when they do a medical experiment, right? They take a control group, which they don't do any treatment to this group, and then they do the treatment group. Everybody has the same physical issue. But in that control group where no one's getting any kind of treatment, they still have to take into account that there's going to be a small percentage of people that are still going to have the same successful outcome as the treatment group, just because of the power of the mind, okay? So I want you guys to do a little exercise to show you the power of your mind. So I want you to just close your eyes real quick, and I want you to imagine a kitchen. Maybe it's, a kitchen from your past that brings you happy memories. Maybe it's the kitchen that you have right now. And in this kitchen, there's on the counter, beautiful countertop, totally clean, like your ideal kitchen, nothing on the counter except a cutting board, a lemon, and a knife. So I want you to take that lemon and cut the lemon in half. And then I want you to take half of the lemon and hold it up to your nose and take a big whiff and smell that really fresh lemony smell. And then I want you to take a bite. Just sink your teeth into that half of the lemon and feel the juices running around in your mouth, and you can almost you can feel that tartness in the back of your mouth, and you can feel more saliva coming out in your mouth. Okay, come back to the room and open your eyes. Okay, how many of you smelled the lemon? How many of you tasted it or had more saliva in your mouth or had that twang from the lemon? Okay, there's no lemon, right? That wasn't magic. I just did not do a magic trick. You just had a thought that created a physical and chemical change within your body that made you smell a lemon, even though there's no lemons here, and have them diffuse lemon oil for that exercise. And you might have tasted it or had that twang of sourness, right? That's the power of your mind. One more little exercise for the power of your mind. I want you to imagine that this is a big chalkboard, okay? That I have really long acrylic nails. I'm gonna drag my fingers down that chalkboard. Okay, so how many of you were just oh, okay, but that's not a chalkboard. I don't have acrylic nails. I didn't just drag my fingers down a chalkboard and make that horrific noise. But you've heard that noise somewhere. It caused some kind of emotional, physical response the first time you ever did it. It got programmed into your subconscious mind, and I just had you access it right here, right now, just by talking about it. Didn't have a chalkboard, didn't have my nails, didn't do any of that, okay? So if I can do that, think about what you are doing with your thought process and what you can do if you can change it just a little bit. So the second law of the mind is you can only think one thing at a time. You can't think, I want to be diamond. I don't know enough people. I don't have enough time. Nobody has any money. All those excuses that Echo talked about. We say, I want, and then we have this big but, blah, 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 right? We have that I want statement, and then it's always followed by this negative yada, 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 yada. But this, but that, but this, I can't do it, right? How many of you have that negative statement thing afterwards, right? The problem is you can only think one thing at a time, and when you think two conflicting thoughts, your brain goes, I don't know what you want. Which one do you want? Do you want to be diamond, or do you want to have all these excuses? So until you figure out which one you want, I'm just going to stay stuck. So if you're feeling stuck in your business or in your life, then you really have to examine how you're thinking, what you're thinking, paying attention to the words that you're saying. And I'm going to give you a little trick. You're going to start using cancel, cancel, or delete, delete a lot. Okay, so every time you catch yourself saying, I want this, but blah, 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 blah. you're going to catch yourself and say cancel, cancel, or delete, delete, like in your head quietly, just to yourself, right? And then you're going to replace it with the thought of what you want. I want to be diamond, no ifs, ands, or buts, okay? The problem is we don't allow ourselves to see the long-term story. We get stuck at, I don't have this, I don't have that, blah, 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 right? So I want to have somebody come up on stage that's fairly new or feeling stuck. So who would like to come up on stage? Okay, come up on. And hopefully this mic will cover it. Okay, so what's your name? Colleen. Nice to meet you. Okay, so what rank do you want to be?
Royal Crown Diamond.
Okay. And what happens if you don't make it?
I can't live the life I want to live. I can't give my kids what they need.
Okay, so what's your first step to getting to Royal Crown?
I'm changing my mindset.
Okay, so what rank are you right now?
I'm a star.
She's a star. Can you guys hear her okay?
Star.
Okay, so you have to get to senior star, right? Okay, so that's...
I can skip on that to silver.
Let's go with silver. Okay, so when do you want to hit silver by?
In 30 days.
Okay, so silver in 30 days. Okay, what happens? Here's a game that I like to play. What happens if you don't?
I'll feel like a failure.
And then what?
I just keep trying.
And then what?
Keep trying. Don't
And
give
then
up.
what?
Keep trying.
Okay, and then what?
And then make silver.
Right? Okay. So the game is, and then what? Okay? If you don't hit the goal, it's not like she's going to give up, right? She's going to keep trying. And it might not look exactly like how she wants it. Maybe she hits it in less than 30 days, or maybe it takes 60 days. But the point is, and then what, and then what, and then what? Okay? Thank you. So I want you to play that game. When you have a thought process that or you have a leader in your group, a team member in your group that's coming to you with excuses or whatever, I want you to say, and then what? And then what? And then what? So in my hypnotherapy practice, I used to work with people with fertility issues. Never call it infertility because that's already telling your body that you're infertile, right? Conscious language, every thought creates a physical, chemical change. So with people working to get pregnant, I would talk and do this and then what game, okay? So they would say, what if I don't get pregnant? Okay, then what? Then I'd be really sad. And then what? I'd maybe live a life with no kids. And then what? Maybe I would adopt. And then what? I'd be really happy, but I wouldn't have my biological kids. And then what? But I'd still have a family. And then what? I'd be happy. Or maybe they choose not to have kids. And then what? My husband and I would have a life, we'd figure it out. And then what? We'd make the best life that we can. And then what? We'd live a life that would be happy and live happily ever after. It might not look exactly the way you want it. It might not happen in the time frame that you want it. But the point I'm making here with the and then what game is that the end result is always going to be a good result. What we choose to do is we get stuck at but what if I don't make it, right? With people with fertility issues, they would get stuck with, I'm not going to get pregnant. But they wouldn't look at the long-term picture and allow themselves to get past the I can't get pregnant part to see that, yes, it would be hard. Yes, it'll be just devastating if they aren't able to have their own kids. And, not a but, and they're still going to have have a great life. It just might not be what they picture it to be. And just being able to give them that gift of knowing beyond I can't get pregnant, beyond the, I won't have kids, to be able to see that they will still have a fulfilling life. Yeah, hard, but doable. That's what I want you to do for your business and for your team. I want you to show them that there's and then what? That there is the then what, okay? So be careful about the words don't and try. Don't. What happens when you tell a little kid, don't touch that? Don't jump off that. Oh, you already jumped, right? The word don't isn't registered in your brain. So when you're telling yourself, I don't want to be stuck at this level, I'm stuck at silver or whatever it is, you're saying I want. So be conscious of what you're saying and choose what you truly want. Say it over and over and over again without the if, ands, or buts and that worst case scenario language. Because the reality is, if any of the if, ands, or buts or worst case scenarios come up, you're going to deal with it. You'll figure it out, right? But why sit there and catastrophize and get stuck and cause all that fight or flight to keep coming up? That's just going to keep you blocked. That's going to keep you from moving forward, okay? The other word to pay attention to is try. You can't try, okay? I want you to try to stand up. I don't see anybody. Okay, now stand up. 100% success, right? If you choose to stand up, you will stand up. But if you say try, you're like, no, I don't want to. Right? But if you're telling yourself in your brain, I'm going to try to get to silver, but I don't want to commit to it because it's so scary, and what if I don't do it? Then everyone's going to know, like, I said I was going to do, silver in 30 days, and in 30 days I'm not going to, oh my gosh, everyone's going to know I'm a failure, right? But if you say try, then your brain's going to know, not 100% committed. How many of you have tried to go to the gym? Tried to eat healthier, tried to eat less, tried to go to bed earlier, tried to wake up earlier, try, right? So trying implies failing automatically. So you cannot use that word when you're talking to yourself or to your business people or to anybody in your life. Try is a word that you have to cancel out of your vocab forever. And replace it with the gratefulness, the gratitude, okay? Yes, you might be stuck at silver, and thank goodness you're there. Thank goodness you have these people that may not be doing the business actively, but they're holding that place at the top of your level 1, and they're ordering 100 per month. You could be pissed about that. I've done that. I've sat there and said, like, I have this person at my level 1, and they could be like, doing something and helping, but then I had to really like reel it back and understand, like, they are doing something. They're doing what's right for them. They might not be on my journey, but they're part of my journey, and they're ordering their 100, which means I've got a leg. Okay, so instead of the negative stuff, the criticizing, blaming, tension, all of that, take a deep breath, put on some oils, and focus on being grateful. Law number 3, your thoughts create your reality. So this is a little weird for people to kind of wrap their minds around, but your thoughts actually come before your reality. Do you know that? How in the heck does that happen? It's the law of energy. Okay? Your thoughts go out, and this is based in quantum physics science. Your thoughts go out of your head. They're little waves of energy that leave your brain. They go out into the universe or to God or whatever you believe in. And the law of energy is that anything that leaves its original source always comes back. So if you notice that all you're saying to yourself is I can't, doubtful, fearful thoughts, then no wonder you're stuck. When I was growing my business, I had blinders on. I had people, friends, close friends that aren't close friends anymore, tell me I was crazy, that I was stupid, that what are you doing? My mom was like, you should just do your job. You master's degree. Why are you doing this oils thing? You know, and I had all this stuff coming at me that I could have taken in and just like, yeah, you know, I went to school for all this stuff. I've got a great private practice. It's thriving. Like, what the heck am I doing? Like, why am I doing this oils thing? But I knew that it was something, I had my why, and I knew that it was worth it. And so I had blinders on, and I just knew I'm going to hit diamond as fast as I can. I'm willing to do whatever I can. And it just kind of flowed. So how many of you have had experiences in your life where things have just fallen into place and, you know, it just flows, right? What happens with us so often is that we want to get somewhere so badly and control every step of the way. And we have to learn how to not control everything, okay? Whether you believe in the universe or God or whatever, there's something that's greater than us that's leading us to where we want to go. We just have to tell that source what it is and not give it that conflicting ping-ponging statement of I want, but this and that, worst case scenario. If we just let go and say, I'm going to hit blank, and just trust and have faith that it's going to happen, usually things will just fall into place. So one of the things I want you to start doing is doing affirmations. And there's a little technique called anchoring that I want you to start doing. So pick something that you see a lot in your life. So I see birds in our neighborhood a lot. And whenever I see a flock of birds, I'll say to myself in my head, business people and killer rock star business people and kid sales just falling into my lap all the time. All those birds, that's how many business people are coming into my life, onto my team. And you know what? I've been doing this business for 4 years now. I still get 1 or 2 kit sales per month. I should have run out of my warm market. And these are all people that have been watching me for 4 years, never commenting, never liking, never asking me anything. They're not in my oils education group. They know minimal about oils, but yet they've been watching me. And because I say my affirmations with those little birds, this keeps happening, okay? So find some kind of thing to anchor your thought process as your little reminder to yourself so that you can say the affirmations for what you want in life, not the affirmations of what you don't want in life, right? So how many of you know somebody in your life that's super lucky? They're in the right place at the right time all the time. How many of you know someone who's always like the unlucky one? They leave the house, job problems, car problems, relationship issues. There's always drama, right? If you ask either of those people, like, what's your deal? Like, why are you so lucky? Or what's your deal? Why are you so unlucky? They probably come back with some kind of statement of, I don't know, I've always been that way. They just trust and know that this statement is true for them. I have a friend whose mom wins almost every radio, like who listens to the radio, but she does, radio contest. She wins every single one of them because she's like, I know the whole formula. I know how to do it. I know exactly when to call, and every single time she wins some kind of prize. Okay, so if you think it, that energy is going to go out and you're going to attract it back. So be really careful of what you're thinking, right? Because back to law number 1, every thought creates a physical chemical change. But if all you're sending out is negativity, then that's all that you're going to be creating. Okay, so be really careful about what you're thinking. So guided imagery is something I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to walk you through a little exercise kind of similar to the lemon thing and the chalkboard thing. So you're going to close your eyes for a little bit longer. It'll be a little bit more in depth. But here's why it works. Your subconscious mind loves imagery. You might not be a visual person, but your subconscious mind loves it. So how many of you have gone to the movies and been just like sucked into the movie? 2.5 hours goes by, you don't even like realize that it's been that long, and as soon as the credits come up, you're like, no, these people, I need to know what happened to them, right? Like, you don't want the movie to end. Your conscious mind knows that you are in a movie theater sitting with a bunch of strangers watching a flat screen of actors portraying some fake story. But you are probably crying or laughing or being super scared, having your heart race, whatever, having all those physical, changes happening in your body, yet none of it was actually happening. So you go in and out of this state of consciousness where you're so zoned in on something that you're not paying attention to the rest of the world, and your subconscious is able to come to the forefront. We usually live life with our conscious mind in the forefront, that critical, rational part. But what we want to do to create lasting effects is to have that subconscious mind come to the forefront, because that's the hard drive, and we need to reprogram it so that we can be successful and change that negative programming that we had. How many of you drove home, have driven home, gotten in your driveway and gone, I don't even remember driving. How did I get here, right? Okay, so what happens with that is when you're driving, you've driven home so many billions of times, all different directions from all different ways, but you've gotten home and your subconscious has recorded the ways home, and while you're kind of zoning out thinking about dinner or the kids or work or whatever, your subconscious is like, no one's paying attention to driving, I better take over, I know how to get home. And it gets you home. Okay, and that's why you forget to go to the grocery store or the dry cleaners or whatever, right? So you go in and out of this state all the time, you just don't know it. And so with this exercise that we're going to do right here, right now, I'm going to walk you through so that your conscious mind will kind of take that step aside so that your subconscious can come to the forefront so that we can kind of get some new programming in there, okay? So when I'm doing this guided imagery, you might just feel like you're sitting there with your eyes closed, or you might just even want to just stare at the ground if you feel more comfortable not having your eyes closed. You might feel like you're just paying attention to me talking. You might feel like you're kind of zoning out. You might kind of feel like you're taking a nice little nap. All of that's totally fine. Your mind might also be kind of like thinking a billion different other things and not really paying attention. Totally fine to do that too, okay? Doesn't matter as long as your brain is doing something, whether it's thinking 5 billion other things besides what I'm talking about, or it's listening to me talk, or you're just like paying attention and staring, zoning out on the ground, okay? As long as you come and listen to what I'm saying, and when I tell you to open your eyes and you come back to the room, then everything went into your brain the way that it needed to. Okay? So go ahead and close your eyes, get yourself in a comfortable position, just feet nicely planted on the ground. I want you to take a couple of nice, deep, cleansing breaths in and out. And I want you to just feel with every breath, your body just releasing and relaxing every single time, starting from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. So with every exhalation, I want you to feel as if your body was just going, so good, okay? And I want you to just focus on the top of your scalp and relax those muscles. And bring that relaxation into your forehead, making sure that your forehead muscles are releasing and relaxing. And just bring that relaxation down into your eyes, relaxing your eyelids, the muscles in and around your eyeballs, relaxing your cheeks, your jaw, letting your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth, relaxing your lips, letting your jaw relax. And then bring your relaxation into your neck. And if you're a visual person, maybe you're bringing a certain color, like a white or pink light through your body. If you're more of a feeling, kinesthetic person, then just really pay attention to the body parts. If you're more of a thinking person, then think about the body parts. But I want you to focus on your shoulders, letting go of all the stress and tension, just letting your shoulders sink into the frame of your body. feeling them nice and heavy. Relaxing more and more with each exhale. Bring that relaxation down into your arms, down into your elbows, into your wrists, down into your hands and your fingertips. And bring that relaxation back into your chest and your stomach. And notice how your breathing has relaxed just from a few moments ago when we first started. Your breathing is slower, it's more relaxed. Bring that relaxation into your stomach. Slide it around your rib cage into your back, starting at the top of your back. Moving down one vertebra at a time, one by one, just releasing and relaxing more and more with each exhalation. Moving down into your hips and your legs, your thighs, into your knees, down to your ankles, the tops of your feet, and the bottoms of your feet, all the way down to the tips of your toes. And I want you to imagine at every fingertip and every toe that there's a little faucet. I want you to open the faucet, and I want you to visualize or think about all the negativity, all the doubt and fear and stress that you've been holding in your body as a certain color, or if you're more thinking, just think about those negative emotions and see them flowing out your fingertips and out your toes, out into the universe, out into the atmosphere to dissipate forever, to be replaced with just calm relaxation. Maybe that's a white light or a yellow light or a pink light. So that all that remains flowing through your body is just wonderful, relaxing energy. And now, I want you to just let your conscious mind and body sit here, rest and relax, and let your subconscious mind go with me on a little journey. So, I think Jordan did an exercise yesterday where she had you write all your fears and doubts on a piece of paper, wad them up. We're going to continue that. So I want you to just picture all those wads of paper of all the fears, all your doubts, all the negative experiences that have led you to block yourself, whether they're from somebody else or from yourself, and have them on those pieces of paper. If you have more things to write down or more pictures that you want to add to the pile, go ahead and do that now. Your subconscious mind's able to do that super fast. So think about even way, way back, like when you were little, the messages that you might have gotten from people that were important at the time in your life that led you to not feel worthy, not good enough. Maybe it's something that you've said to yourself over the years. Maybe it's something a teacher or somebody important in your life when you were a teenager said to you, or something you saw on TV that made you feel less than. Put it on a piece of paper, see it as a picture or word or whatever, crumple it up, throw it in the pile in front of you, and just let your subconscious mind do the work that it needs to do. It works really quickly and easily and effortlessly. You might not even have to think about what the pieces of paper say or look like. Your brain's able to know all of the things that need to be released, all of the blockages. So I'll give you just a moment to finish up, knowing that you can come back to this exercise anytime you want. And we'll get to the next part of this exercise. Go ahead and finish up. And that mound of paper in front of you might be small, it might be big. But I want you to see that in front of you is a big fireplace. And I want you to shove all those pieces of paper into that fireplace. Shove them in there, every single last one of them, into that fireplace. And go ahead and find yourself a match or a lighter and light that thing on fire. And whoosh, it goes up in flames and you can feel the heat. And The smoke goes up the chimney, and all those pieces of paper that are holding the things that are blocking you, the things that make you feel not worthy, are going up in flames. And all that's left in your fireplace now is just flat, gray ash and little bits of smoke. And now a little wind tunnel's going to take even those last little flecks of ash up, up, up out of the chimney. Up, 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 and out, out of your brain, out of your body, out of your life for forever. All right, so now I want you to find a chair in this room, a nice cozy chair. And go ahead and sit down, and you're going to find the new book of your life right next to you. And as you page through it, you've noticed that all those things that you just released and lit on fire are gone. Your life, as you know it now, has released all that stuff. And I want you to open up to this page right here, where you can see or you're thinking about this moment where you're sitting here with me in this room. And I want you to write on this page that you did it. You're rid of all of the things that were blocking you. And then I want you to go forward in your book, a couple chapters, to that goal that you want, whether it's silver or diamond. And I want you to open that page and see it in detail. And I want you to notice how good it feels to know that you hit the goal, you hit silver, or you hit diamond, that life-changing rank. And see how your bank account has a big fat amount of money. See how you've been able to pay off debt. See how this money has changed your life. See how this money now is helping you give to others and change other people's lives on a grander scale than you could ever imagine. And now I want you to fast forward where all of you are diamond. And you're at convention. And you're at that awards dinner, dressed in your finest. And you get to walk up on stage and hear your name as our newest diamond. And I want you to feel that nervousness in your heart, that excitement in your belly, and how your smile is just beaming ear to ear, how it almost hurts your face because you're smiling so hard. I want you to hear how your team out there in the audience is just cheering for you. And I want you to feel that feeling of pride in your heart of knowing that you did it. You accomplished diamond, you knew you could do it, and you did, and it feels incredible. And maybe you even have tears welling up in the corners of your eyes because you can't even believe that this is happening, yet you do believe because you know that you did it. Okay, I want you to close your book knowing that that is the future of your life. You just recorded it, you just created it, you put it out into the atmosphere, and the law of energy is that anything that you put out always comes back, and that you're going to be paying attention to your thought process, deleting, canceling all the negatives, making sure that you're using the right kind of language so that that is your reality. That picture, you walking across the stage and feeling that pride and happiness and that sense of accomplishment is yours. Okay, so I'm going to count from 1 up to 5, and at the count of 5, I'm going to have you open your eyes, and when you open your eyes, that's going to be the signal to your subconscious mind that you believe 100% that this is your life, you own it, you claim it, you take your power back, and from this moment forward, you are powerful. Okay, so 1, feeling yourself coming back to the room. 2, feeling your feet firmly grounded on the floor. 3, maybe wiggling your fingers and your toes. 4, taking a nice, deep, refreshing, energizing breath of air in. Exhaling. 5, eyes open, feeling totally refreshed. energized, ready for the rest of your day. Okay, how many of you were there on the stage, Diamond? Smile, painful, tears welling in your eyes. Okay, that's what you need to be thinking about. That's what you need to keep reinforcing in your brain, okay? And because you all opened your eyes, that means your subconscious mind has taken that programming and accepted it as real. So there's nothing you need to do other than put those blinders on and get to work, okay? So I want you all to take out your phones, open up your notes, and pick a day 6 months from now. So what's 6 months from now? November, December, January, February, March, April. So April, what's today? 14th, thank you. April 14th, I want you to set an alert for April 14th. And write it as diamond bound note to self. And in the notes section of that date, I want you to take the next minute or so to write how proud you are of yourself, of all the things you've accomplished, how proud you are of yourself for sacrificing the things that were necessary so that you could be at the level that you want. How proud you are of yourself for taking the time to take action, for not letting yourself have excuses. And I want you to put in that note how your business has grown, how amazing it feels, how you have all these new business people just falling into your lap, how you have kit owners falling into your lap that are motivated, oil lovers, and how your Young Living business is just growing and growing and growing. And just make it as detailed as you can in that note, because as you're writing it, your subconscious mind is now getting the message. You're programming into your subconscious mind right now as you're writing your little note to yourself all the things that you want to have in your brain, but also in your life. So take a couple more seconds and finish up, and you can always finish up a little bit later, add to it. But make sure you set an alarm for that diamond bound note to yourself so that it dings and you have to look at it and read it in 6 months and be so proud and surprised at how things are probably going to be even better than what you expected. Okay? Because we often don't allow ourselves to dream as big and as good as what we are worthy of. So you're probably going to see that if you put these things that you're going to be learning here at Diamond Bound into practice, that your life is going to be better than you could have ever imagined. The good things that you wanted will probably be tenfold, 100-fold, if you actually allow that to happen and you do the work that you need to. Okay, so here's some affirmations. Go ahead and take some pictures if you want. Share them with your team. I like to start off affirmations with every day in every way, and end with every day in every way I am better and better. Not I get better and better, not I will be better and better. I am better and better. Just that statement, if that's all you say to yourself every single day, your subconscious mind's going to get the message and do whatever it needs to do to have all of your life get better and better. But what I recommend with affirmations is you print it out, put it on your bathroom mirror every morning when you brush your teeth, every evening when you brush your teeth. Read it really fast. And the reason why I want you to read it really fast is because if you read it slowly and examine each statement, you're probably going to be like, well, how a life that's full of abundance yet? I don't know if I'm worthy of living an abundant life yet, you know. So that conscious, negative, want part of your brain always wants to come in. It still comes in for me, and I still have to do the cancel, delete thing. So if you say it fast, then you're not allowing that negative worried part of your brain come out. Okay? And eventually, you are going to be able to say these things to yourself, own it, and know that this is my truth. This is me. Okay? Everybody got the affirmations?
No. You're standing in front of him. I can't see it.
Can you see it? If I'm out of the way?
Yes.
I'll get out of the way. Is that better?
Yeah.
You can see it? Okay. I think everybody's done taking pictures. I'm out of time. Here's my contact info. On my website at carolyeh-garner.com, I have 2 other presentations that I've done at convention that you can watch and share with your teams if you liked what you saw here today. Thank you so much.